Imagine you always want to make a label, but you never had the money, the resources, or the knowledge to ever start one, so you let it go in the back of your mind. But you always like the music, the business side, and just the overall idea. It will be great, right? You put that dream in the back of your mind, you clock in for work. You do door-to-door sales and end up clicking with another person, let's call them CEO, and you end up telling them about the dream that you had as long as their dream, which is running a label. They already have a setup, a name, and another co-founder, which is a great artist that you end up clicking with and end up working well with. A few days later, they want you to be the vice president of the whole thing, while they're the CEO and the other one is the co-founder, which is great because you want to be able to run a label too, but you just want some partnership and some help that comes with it. In the midst of this, you call your childhood homies because they also rap, have side businesses and shit that will help the label flourish. And while you're doing that, they're getting their people that they know they accumulated over the time that they've been doing music, and everything is good for the couple weeks. You launch it on Instagram, you make the Instagram page, the YouTube page, the social media. The CEO and the co-founder are supposed to be working on the LLC and using one of their paychecks to pay for it. Mind you, you also inserted yourself and say, hey, I'll put in this percent if you let me get percent of the overall label. They agree, but it never comes to term. Besides that, you're doing link ups, you're recording, you're introducing yourselves to the world. Everything's a good and dandy for the couple of weeks. My job as vice president, I'm supposed to find more followers, find more talent, and find us performances so we can get our name out there more, which I do in the long run, and I land our first performance. It went great. Kind of awkward at first, but everyone performed and had a great time. I'm skipping a little bit forward just to let you know what I did while I was there. In the midst of this, a lot of people are having disagreements just because there's so many personalities in one chat. It's a lot of things going on, but at the end of the day, everyone respects you and you manage to hold everything together. You even have some disagreements and you voice it to the CEO and the co-founder, thinking that they will understand, which they said they were, but not really in the long run. They were more focused on partying and having more link ups and doing things that didn't help the label at all. But I digress. It's been a boiling point between a few artists and a few people that's running the label thinking that I ran the label because of the amount of time, effort, and care that I had for the label. A lot of the artists felt like I should have had the CEO position, but that doesn't come in until later. But this is the conversations that are being had in between these times. That's not even putting up the half of the time where I had artists come to my house, stay there, record. I was doing a lot, more than I should have, but bygones be bygones. That's actually a song, by the way. A few more weeks and months passed, and y'all have another event. I voiced that I was doing most of the work, and they listened, so they landed an event to perform at in North Carolina. I thought everything was planned. I thought everything was cool and dandy. Turns out it wasn't planned. The main event was with a family member that the co-founder was asked to perform there. We gotta start somewhere, and that's fine. They had told me before that they had the ride settled. We were following the person that wanted us to perform there, which was his father. He saw the last performance. Mind you that his father wasn't in his life previous to this until we had the performance. So I had my doubts, but I'm in no position to judge anyone's parent. The day of this happening, we had everything set up and we were ready to go. Mind you, I had my wisdom teeth pulled the 2 days prior to this, so I didn't even know if I was gonna go or not. But the co-founder insisted and that I needed a break because I was going through a lot at the time, moving and etc. and money issues. So me and my girl decided to go. And in the day of, the thing was so dysfunctional to the point where I had to send my girl home because I didn't know if this was going to work out or not. In the last moments, their parent decided to hurry up and get to North Carolina, and we got back on the road. We drove all the way from Baltimore, Maryland to North Carolina in a span of a few hours, and it was the worst ride of my life. I should have got in the car with my girl when she left, but I just wanted to make sure she was safe, and I was with my right hand at the time, still my best friend to this day, and I felt I was good. Once we got there, it was extremely late because of the father not coming there on time and ready, and we barely got paid for the event. We only got paid so we can get back. With a little bit of footage I had, we packed our shit up to a hotel that night and proceeded to sleep and hopefully enjoy some time in North Carolina. That didn't end up happening because of the entire time we woke up late. Of course, we was out. We woke up late that day because that night we were trying to find hotels and barely could pay for it. But I ended up paying out of pocket and going split with my right hand just so we could stay for the night and not sleep in the car. So after this, we woke up. We all were over it, ready to go back to Maryland. So we packed all our shit up and went back into the car. And there's a little side detail in the midst of this. The CEO is the driver, and he brought his girl and his other friend. In the midst of us trying to get back, they end up having a disagreement. They've been having disagreements this entire time. her just being a hoe. When I mean his girl, I just mean one of his other hoes, you feel me? They ended up getting to their last final disagreement on the road. She pulls out a knife. They get to bickering about politics or some dumbass shit. And naturally, me and my right hand say, yo, pull this fucking car over. In the midst of this, we separate both. We go get some McDonald's. We try to calm everything down. But that did not help at all. I initially told them to just calm down and wait till we get back to Maryland for y'all to have y'all disagreement. They ended up having another disagreement. He ended up throwing her food, her shit out, and proceeded to say, you're not making it back to Maryland, find your own way back. After this, the girl proceeded to spam call the police and say that she is being kidnapped. I'm trying to tell her to get out of the vehicle, please leave. I will get you an Uber or whatever you need, a plane ticket, because at this point, I'm ready to go in my savings and just send her home so we can make it home. She proceeded to not listen, try to hit him, etc., etc., etc. At this point, I'm saying, fuck this, I want to leave. At this point, she's spam calling the police and saying that I am, and we are pinning her down. We're not letting her leave. All that crazy shit. Disclaimer, I was raised with a good mother. Never in my life I would hit or prevent another woman from leaving someone she doesn't want to be. I am a woman myself. After that, I proceeded to say, okay, you don't want to leave, that's fine, but I want to leave. She's blocking my way. So at this point, I'm like, look, I'm not going to put my hands on you. I don't even care about none of that. I want to leave because this is between you and him. I will find my own way back. So me and my right hand proceeded to get our belongings. He got out first. I couldn't get out for a second, and then I proceeded to leave. Let me rephrase, try to leave. Remember, she spam calling the police and cutting it off at the last second, so they're tracking her phone at this point. By the time I'm trying to get 3 police cruisers end up pulling up, and I'm like, well, this is escalated to the point. She sticks to her story of saying that we kidnapped her and was trying to pin her down and resist her from getting home. And we told them the truth of what happened. Mind you, the driver has bruises to prove that she did try to pull a knife on him and attack him on the road. In the midst of this, y'all know the drill. They ask for identification. I give them all my identification. My best friend does. Everyone does. Very cooperative because this looks very bad. She refuses to give identification and ended up getting more charges added and ended up getting arrested because she didn't want to get identified, searched, or anything. Mind you, everyone was searched and identified. After that, they ended up searching the car and ended up finding weed gummies in my bag. Mind you, I had wisdom tea pulled out days ago. I can't even have any type of weed. I can't even eat solid food. I was holding it for another artist, the co-founder, that had already left for their peoples already because they extended to help him instead of us getting back, except for giving us gas. After they searched us and they found that, they gave me a citation. North Carolina, by the way, which I didn't have a way of getting back out there. And the girl, mind you, got arrested and was detained and had a bunch of charges that I have no clue if she got back or not. I really don't care. But after this happened, the driver proceeds to say, well, is this a citation? I don't have a record at all, let alone a misdemeanor at that point. And no one was understanding my anger at this point because if he hasn't brought his girl or this was planned a little bit better, this would never have happened. But granted, I am a grown person. I did get in the car. I did say I wanted to go because I still had the dream of this working. That part of the story was needed to go to the further parts. After that, I took a few days off from the label. I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't say how I felt. I needed to think about my next decisions. Nobody in my life have put me in a situation where I had to contemplate or be in their friend because they just got me a charge. So naturally, I think business-wise. I say to them, if I am not running this label, if I'm not head of this label, I will not be coming back to this label. This is Imagine If You Want to Make a Label Part 2. Thank y'all for listening to me in the last post. After I proceeded to say, if I'm not head of this label, if I'm not running this label, I will not come back to this label, the CEO proceeds to say, then leave or just take a vacation. It's not that big of a deal. You know, everything was out of control, but we still made it back. I explained it was that serious. It could have been way worse. And that slap on the wrist, realistically, we should not have made it home. They were not getting why I was upset and why it was a big deal. I'm on the phone with the CEO and the co-founder. The co-founder is more understanding and understand why I am angry. And then I proceed to say what happened if I wanted to go and do other things in North Carolina without y'all. Or, you know, what if I made my own thing because y'all are not doing what y'all need to do. He proceeds to ask me, what am I not doing that I'm not doing already? I proceed to list them. It hasn't been another performance since the one I booked that I worked my ass for. It hasn't been any new music made in a time since maybe 3 months ago. All good ideas that I had was shut down or wasn't forwarded because no one else wanted to put up money or put effort into what we needed to do. All the recording meets was at my house, and nobody else took initiative to even have artists record or anything. Not listening to the other artist that has problems or needs to talk to them with music wise. Flat out, we're not making any money. We're losing money because we keep partying. I could go on and on. CEO proceeds to say, then what do you want me to give away my label? I'm not doing that. Y'all are my employees. I do all the work, is what he said. And I guess this kind of set me off because in the midst of him saying that, he said, you wouldn't even know what you're doing. Why did people think you need to be this person? And I said, bet, you know, what happens if I make my own label and leave and take the people I brought here? Basically, the whole conversation was he thinks he's still doing enough, and if anybody feel indifferent, they can leave. And if I was to become a rival label, we would not collaborate or anything since you want to give up my employees and all that bullshit. Like, who the hell think he is? Mind y'all, right? Anybody that joined the label, the whole kick out on the whole thing of why people joined, that it's no risk and you don't need to sign anything. And that was made because of me and because they didn't make the LLC. It was genuine people that wanted to sign because they wanted to work with me. And mind you, we're all like little at this point. We're not even in control of to me making these type of big moves without setting the foundation at first. Anyway, the CEO is basically saying, I'm not shit and I can't make what I need to make. Come back to vacation or fuck off. That's in layman words of what he's saying. Naturally, I feel disrespected. It makes me feel like they don't think I can run the CEO position because of all the work I was done as vice president and then sitting back. Thinking back on it, I think he just wanted a game because that's what the direction was taking. A game. Which I have nothing against, but we're not here for that. We're trying to make music and make it out, correct? Anyway, time passes. I decide to make my own label. The only thing that I requested from the old label that I was a part in, that I took days to even think about, because generally, I really love that fucking label. Once I believe in something and it doesn't go my way, which is very rare, it hurts me deeply. Because I really had big thoughts, big dreams of us making it all together. But I digress. Once I made my label, the only thing that I requested is the people that wanted to come with me, come with me. But if they don't, it's perfectly fine. I wanted to leave quietly. But lo and behold, as soon as I left, a lot of people followed suit. Even some of the people that they connected to and they brought to the label. At first, I had a no, and then I had to remind them, you're not a business. This is a group. You can't hold anybody here hostage, especially content. This is what initiated the first thing of us having quote-unquote beef. Majority of the chat that left once I left and figured out what happened in North Carolina. Because mind you, I didn't say anything. I was still in communication with everyone, but I didn't tell them what happened and how North Carolina went. After all that happened, people were leaving and etc, etc. Me and the CEO have a conversation via text message. I was basically asking them, please release my artist music from their page, YouTube-wise, TikTok, Instagram, all that, since I'm making my label and I need to use footage from that to put on my shit. And mostly all the videos were recorded by me on my phone and half of them edited by me. I just wanted that to be down so there wouldn't be no correlation with the labels. He proceeded to say no, if all this is very illegal, what you did, and I will do a cease and desist. Guys, a cease and desist for a group. Not a registered business, no. Let's deep into this. He didn't want to release content by other label because I was a rival label and I bullied and took the rest of their artists. When initially, the only thing I said was, let me run it. I'll run it with y'all. I'll run it in front of y'all. Still have everything in the back. Just let me do what I do. Because let me tell y'all, there's only so much I can do and so much I can have a green light on. And I was getting sick and tired of asking them, okay, is this good? Is this good? Is this good? And them not replying or giving me constructive criticism or even helping for that matter. But you want to do a cease and desist for artists that you already had let and did not care for. Like, I don't get it. But anyways, I naturally was like, I made the accounts. I have the emails. Why am I even asking you? So I proceeded to take everything down. I was not petty and took like the YouTube videos down. The only thing that I took down was videos involving us, like mainly of the label. But I don't think I deleted everything because I felt a little bit bad. I took half their artists. I'm about to make a new label. I'm about to work with the same people we were working before because I had connections to perform and that I'm glad that I didn't say anything about, because if I did, it would have been used against me and not be able to get away quickly. So yes, after that, I did delete all the accounts. Well, no, actually, that's a lie. I took down all of the things that revolve in my name and some of the people named that was coming to my label because I'm not that petty. But after that, I continued to sign out and do what I do. I said, thank you so much for your time. I just did it myself since you don't want to give me an answer. But yeah, after all that, I made a brand new label called Dreams to Reality. I'll tag it in the bio. In the description, and we're working on some few things, you know, still working on music. I'm actually working on LLC, and I think it's a way for me to get the LLC for cheap, is what I showed them as well, and I might be able to get it well from not working a job right now. So that's just to show you that nobody was ready to do anything, and everybody was on bullshit. But thank you for listening. Go follow my page, Dreams to Reality, and we will drop some things soon. And that's a little side quest other than the main content that I post anyway. Long story short, don't get into people that's not really serious. Even if they say they're serious and they show you, do more research, I guess. Mind you, I didn't even touch on the things that they were saying behind my back, dissing, saying about my label, dissing my other artists, prank calling my phone, harassment, saying that what I did was illegal, I'm shitty, and cold, and cutthroat, because I wanted to do my own thing after they show me that they don't really want to do it and they just want to party. And mind you, didn't help me with my citation, I still have to deal with that. Let me know if you want a part 3 or more in detail on who it was and all that. And thank you for listening if you listen to this whole shit. I really appreciate you. Follow me, gang.
Mr. Krabs, start digging in your butt,